It is a brisk 46 degrees right now, but while it is raining, it feels a lot colder if I'm being frank. And you might be wondering, why am I Frank? I'm Andy. But another beautiful day today in the old Pacific Northwest. We have rain, and it's gray. And some might not be the biggest fan of that, but I kind of like it. Maybe it's because I've been essentially born and raised here. And why I say essentially is I wasn't born here. I was born in a different country. I cannot run for the title of United States President because I am not born in the old United of States. But do I want to be President of the United States? Not really. Also probably because I don't have the credentials for it. That's another thing I got to think about. But never really thought about being the President of the United States. Never was one of my childhood dreams, you know. Those childhood jobs that you always wanted to do. You're like, oh, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be an astronaut. And the other one, I want to be an astronaut. It's either that or some kid said firefighter, but I never wanted to be a firefighter because as a child, I thought it was scary. I thought fire trucks were cool, but then I would see videos of firefighters and I thought, don't really want to do that when I grow up. I'll let the people that are a lot braver and cooler than me do that job. And I have vast amount of respect for firefighters because honestly, like if I saw a building on fire, and even if it were my job to go into said building on fire and save everybody in there, yeah, there's a part of me inside. I'm like, yeah, I would like to do that. I would like to save the people inside. But there's also the, the self-preservation part of my brain that kind of kicks in a little bit too much at times, where I feel a little bit cowardly. But yeah, that's my reasoning why I'm not a firefighter. But who knows? Maybe in a couple years, I have a sudden change of mind and I join the firefighting academy and I pursue my new dream to become a firefighter and help those who are affected by fire and other things too. How did I get from the Washington weather to firefighter though? But again, this is another beautiful part into the psyche of my mind where things don't really make a lot of coherent sense. But I like to get it out of my system because it's in a way where it's like I make these videos and I get these thoughts out first, so that later on when I have actual social interactions with other people, I sound less unhinged and incoherent. Because I'm getting it out of my system right now, so that later on I'll be so eloquent and mysterious and solemn. Maybe those aren't the right words that I want to describe myself as, but we live in where. Why do I smell burning? Also, my younger cousin gave me an air freshener, so I decided to put it on tonight. Didn't really realize the fact that it would cover up the frame of the shot, but I'll let it hang right there, because why not? The old cherry scent, and I think on the container or the little wrapping package it said Jinbei-san or something. What does that say? Jinbli? I don't know. I think she told me she got it at Daiso, that Japanese dollar store that nothing's a dollar anymore now. Kind of messed up if you think about it. We have a store called the dollar store, but it's not. Things aren't a dollar. Really makes you think. Really makes me think that I'm gonna create a store called the $10 store, but everything's gonna be actually $14. And they go, whoa, it's called the $10 store. Why isn't it $10? And I'll just tell them like, oh, I make $10 every time you buy something. Here we are again. Me going on my incessant rambling. I don't even know that's the right word to use right there, but I don't care and I'm going to use it, and I'm probably going to Google the word later. There's a really nice yellow Porsche driving by me. It's the 996. I can tell because that's the fried egg headlights, as some people like to call them. But I didn't think about skipping today, but I did think about taking a rest day today and just doing cardio because, as I suspected, taking a month off from the gym has made it so that I am extremely sore after yesterday's workout. And that's even being a little bit conservative in yesterday's workout, because I was like, all right, I haven't worked out in a month. I shouldn't go fully too all out, because what if I'm too sore the next day and I have to take too long to recover, and that's gonna hamper with my, I guess, like the mental battle of always trying to push yourself and keep yourself accountable to go in. And that was a little bit today. I woke up extremely sore. And the thing I kept doing is, as much as I feel like I matured as a lifter, where like on back exercises I incorporate less of my biceps, that being said, I still use, I'm not the perfect form lifter. I'm not the perfect specimen in lifting at the moment, where even if I'm doing back, I feel a lot less bicep now, but I do feel a little bit of bicep activation here and there. And sometimes that can't be held. That's just how our body works. And a lot of those movements do incorporate a little bit of bicep action. And since my biceps haven't been worked in a while, I do feel a little bit of, not tension, but a little tenderness in like the little elbow area right here, where I thought, if I were to do a bicep workout today, would that be too strenuous? Would I not even be able to get good sets in, because I'm already pre-fatigued from yesterday? But then I thought, how am I supposed to know that if I don't go and test it out? So could today be a blunder? Of course, it could be an extreme blunder where I go in, have the most terrible arm workout known to history of mankind, and then I go back in the car and I go, today wasn't a good workout, but the next arm day will be better. And I'd rather have that than just have it be that I sat home and played Escape Tarkov from all day, which that did go through my mind, if I'm being honest. An entire day of playing Escape from Tarkov sounds like a darn good time, if you ask me. I like how I say that, but like the past couple raids I've had in Tarkov have been very pain-inducing, where I either die, or I get a quest item, then I die, or I get extract camped, or if I survive, all my other teammates died. So it kind of feels like there's like that thing, it's like the survivor's guilt or something, where I'm just like, all my teammates are dead, but I'm alive. I don't deserve to get out of this raid. It's like, those random things. That house is cleaning up their Christmas decorations. There's like a part of me, I was like, I need to clean up my Christmas decorations too. Then I realized we set out one light up snowman out on the porch, and then we set out our tree, so it's secondly only 2 things that we need to clean up for Christmas decorations. And it is rain. Jesus Christ, that guy, okay, I'm in my turning lane, and that guy pulled into my turning lane in oncoming traffic to do an illegal turn into his neighborhood. Oh, man. You really got to be careful as a driver, because there are times where just one small mistake that's not even from somebody else's fault leads you with a destroyed vehicle and sometimes even bodily damage. It is raining a lot, by the way, too. It is. The walk to the gym of 15 seconds from my car to the gym is not going to be the most pleasant, it seems, it looks like today. But oh well. I made it out, and I'm happy with that. I like how I say that I made it out, even though I still haven't even made it to the gym yet and haven't even done my workout. But we're gonna get there, and we're gonna hit arms. And this is a little bit of me making excuses, but I want to start incorporating core slash, ab routines into my exercises, which that was one of my goals last month, which I didn't incorporate because I got sick and I stopped going to the gym for a month. But I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking 2 to 3 sets of abs on arms and on chest day. And here's my reasoning behind that. When I do back, I have 3 different groups I want to hit. My lats, my upper and lower back, or my upper and mid back, which I know in a way back could be considered just one muscle group, but I do feel different parts of my back being worked when I were to do, pull down, oriented movement versus things that are more row-like movements. And with that in mind, I also like hitting the rear delts on my back day. So it's 3 different exercise groups that I like dividing it up into, which ends up taking not a long time. Like, it takes me about an hour, a little bit over an hour, sometimes even under an hour, depending on, how the day goes by. But the reason I want to add in abs to arms and on chest day is that those 2 days, I only have 2 groups that I usually work on. Where on chest day, it is going to be chest and my side delts. And on arms, it's going to be my triceps into my biceps. Which means that those 2 days end up being a little bit shorter than my leg day versus my back day. Because again, on leg day, I like to focus on calves, hamstrings, quads. Again, 3 different exercise groups, 3 different amount of grouping of sets. What is that on the road? Ew. What is that? And then again, as I said before, for back day, I do it as lats, upper mid back, and rear delts. And I like to hover around 2 to 6 sets per body group, depending on. I'm still experimenting with that. Like there are times where I feel like 4 sets per body part is enough, especially if I were to do it twice a week. So that would be in total 8 working sets per week per body part. But then there are also times where I'm like, oh, what if I don't, go in twice a week? Should I do the 6 sets, especially if I feel like I can do 6 sets of that body part? And I think for now, I've been doing 6 sets for biceps, quads. I think I've been doing 6 sets for chest also. Is that right? Because I usually, I do 6 sets of chest also, because I do 2 sets of incline bench into 2 sets of that, that hammer strength incline press. The one that I always usually do, the one that I feel is really nice. And then I usually do 2 sets of pec deck or cable flies. Yeah, 6 sets. Because I've noticed on chest, if I were to do 4, maybe it could be sufficient. I've also heard some people say 5, but it always felt weird to me to do 5 sets because doing 2 sets just feels right to me at this time, where like I feel like, satisfied. Because if I were to do 1 working set, I kind of feel like I could have done more. Or maybe if I were to go extra crazy on that 1 set, maybe that could work too. And you've also heard me say too, like, 2 sets in total for a body part. I've been thinking about that too, because like, what if if I were to do abs technically 4 times a week? Because if I were to do them on arms and on chest day, and I were to do 2 sets each time, that would still be in total 8 sets for the entire week. Because I remember one time somebody said, like, I think I saw watch some YouTuber say like, oh, you can work on abs every day because they recover really fast. But then I remember maybe it was user error on my part. I did abs one day and I was sore for over a week, and that was a pretty funny week, if I'm being honest. I remember laughing and it hurt, and I was like, well, I guess it didn't hurt per se, but it was definitely tender and sore. Looks like I got a little bit of an extra long walk to the gym, so my 15-second walk to the gym is going to be about 18 because I'm parked pretty far away today. Well, without further ado, let's get into the gym and let's get this arm pump achieved. Whoop. It is 39 degrees outside and it is raining quite profusely. Arms have been hit, 8 sets of tries, 6 sets of buys, and today might actually be a rather interesting day, if I could say that, because as you might have noticed, I only recorded 1 set of tricep exercises. And the reason being is that all of it, this was the weirdest thing I think I've ever experienced. There was this 30-minute block where a bunch of people came in and started working out, but then I blinked and then 30 minutes later they were all gone because The people I started working out with were still there, but the people that came in during my workout, especially when I started doing my triceps, all of a sudden they just disappeared the moment I started doing my biceps. And I was like, wait, the gym was so empty. And that's the main reason I didn't film a lot of my tricep sets, because I don't want to be that guy. Like, I don't mind myself, and like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't mind myself recording, especially I like to think that I'm being very respectful about it. I try to make sure that I'm not in anybody's space. I'm not going over and, you know, going like, hey, you're gonna be in the background of my video, you're gonna be a third of the frame, which it kind of happens at times, and I hope they understand it. And I hope they also understand, like, I'm not filming this to, you know, like, embarrass anybody or, you know, be malicious about it. I'm just trying to record myself, and since the gym is a shared space, unfortunately other people will show up. Also, it is raining so much that, like, I'm actively having to talk louder to even hear myself over the rain right now. But also, I'm not driving home right now. I'm going on my little a minute 30 commute to old Costco because I have run out of eggs, and I love eggs. So I'm gonna go over to Costco and I'm gonna buy some eggs. I'm gonna buy some fruit because I also ran out of fruit. And who knows, maybe I'll even buy some yogurt, because I haven't had yogurt in over a month and I kind of miss it. I like the taste of yogurt. I think it's delicious. Only thing I'm not looking forward to is getting absolutely drenched in the rain while I bring my groceries back, because I have a tendency to always park far away, because A, little extra cardio, you'll get your extra steps in for the day. B, I usually like to park where there's no other people, because I've had way too many times where people door ding me or actually hit my car and damage it, and I don't want that anymore. So how do I avoid that? I park away from people. That is my solution. And sometimes even then you park so out of the way and you come back to a car and there's a car literally parked right next to you, so close that even makes opening your door a little bit difficult. But yeah, but again, that phenomenon was so weird where, like, for like 30 minutes, a bunch of people came in, and then 30 minutes later, they all disappeared just like that. And it went from a decently packed gym into what I thought was the apocalypse for a bit, where I saw people lining up to use machines. And then all of a sudden, it became an empty gym. It was very weird. Wouldn't say I was particularly a fan of it, but it is kind of nice to have experienced that, just because, again, it was such a unique and wacky experience. I also have a rule too, especially if I go to Costco, I will only park near those cart drop-off areas, because why would I park far away? Like, why would I get a close parking spot if that means I still have to, like, drag my cart across the entire parking lot just to put it back? And I'm not gonna leave my cart here. I'm not a villain. I always want my cart back. But I think today my post-workout meal will probably be a chicken bake. And yeah, I'm gonna go into Costco and I'll see what I get real quick. That was a bit of a struggle, if I'm being honest. Costco was extremely busy. The gym was also extremely busy today for that 30-minute time block period. And I just felt like I had to fight for my life just to get out of the gosh darn entrance to the store. Because Costco has this phenomenon. There's something that happens at Costco that I feel like always happens at Costco more primarily than at other grocery stores. Oh, excuse me. I kind of had to speed eat that chicken bake, and I just very embarrassingly burped. But actually, was that really embarrassing? That was just my body doing something. Should I really be ashamed of it? I could always say excuse me, but at the same time too, it's like I can't just, I guess for like a burp you could not burp, kinda. Anyway, I had a chicken bake and I feel a little bit better now, because I was definitely getting a little bit hangry in the Costco aisles, because especially with a lot of families in there, there's a lot of kids putting the carts around, and sometimes kids, you know, don't always have the smartest you know, spatial awareness of their environment. And sometimes 4 different families with like 6 different kids operating 5 different carts start blocking every single aisle, and it gets a little bit infuriating trying to get around to them. Come on in, there you go. Why is everybody slowing down? It's a green light. But yeah, I have secured my groceries for the time being. A lot of eggs, some yogurt. I bought one of them little Insta crates that like collapses into like a flat thing so I can keep it in my car because it seemed very convenient. My egg cases are vibrating violently in the back, so I'm gonna drive as safe as possible because cracked eggs are never a fun thing to get home to. And I definitely don't feel like I've secured my load properly in the back, but yeah, that should be all right. I should be able to make it home all right, but oh, it's snowing, or ice possible, drive with care. It is now 38 degrees, raining, and the rain is now solidifying. I see little speckles of yep, there's definitely more than just liquid on there. There's the third form of water I'm seeing right now, the solid form being dispersed around my windshield. Oh, but let me talk about my arm workout today. Felt pretty nice. There's nothing bad with it. Like, if anything, I just got really busy, so I just couldn't film my tricep sets. But I did 2 sets of dips, 2 sets of push downs with a V-bar attachment, 2 sets of the tricep extension movement, where I call them like the X-Men, where I do like the X pose. But the double cables were taken today, so I just did one arm at a time at a cable. And I did the exact same thing since the double cables were still being occupied. I did my overhead katana extensions one arm at a time too, and everything felt pretty nice. I didn't have like an insane crazy pump today, and I think that's mainly just because, actually I don't know the reason because I feel like I did everything the same as I usually did, other than minus less weight, because I'm definitely not as strong as I was a month ago. But I'll probably be back to that strength in maybe 3 weeks, I'm guessing. And then I can start chipping away again to make sure I hit my strength PRs and goals that I always wanted to hit. But it is quite chilly. Oh, now it's 37 degrees. We are plummeting down in the temperature department. Got myself a chicken bake though as a little treat, mainly because, again, not the healthiest thing, but it has calories, it has protein, it has fats, it has carbs. So I decided to consume it because it's also, what was it called? It's like $3.50. You know, obviously more expensive than a Costco hot dog, but I don't know, $3.50 for a chicken bake. I'll take it. I'll take it, especially for how big it is. Also, is it like the most culinarily extravagant thing I've ever eaten? No, but for $3.50. I feel like also there's this thing for me and food where like the cheaper it is and as more edible it becomes, as you know, okay, that sounds weird. If it's cheap and delicious, it automatically becomes more delicious, because it's like if you pay more for food, you already have a higher expectation that it should be, you know, extravagant for the price point, right? But if you pay for something very little and it ends up being delicious, it somehow makes the experience even better. Where I kind of associate, like, if there's 2 restaurants, like say I get a bowl of noodles somewhere else and it's $7, which is already still pretty expensive if you think I could get a bowl of pho like a couple of years ago for around, what, like the biggest size for like $8 at most. Now a bowl of pho is like $15, $16. But you know what? I hope those business owners make a lot of money, but gosh darn, noodle dishes, especially soupy noodle dishes, the prices are quite outrageous nowadays. And I still think the biggest scam nowadays is like, I mean, I'll still go out and occasionally get it, but ramen places really got us by the vice grip that we're paying them, what, like $15, $16 for a bowl of ramen, when it's usually pretty mid, especially in my area too. And the reason I say that, one thing I do regret about going to Japan, and it's not even really a regret, is like going to Japan and experience, you know, ramen there, especially for the price and the convenience and the variety too, definitely ruined a lot of ramen places near me personally. Could there be good ramen places in the US? Obviously, yes. But the ones near me definitely have been ruined for their $16 bowl of very mildly flavored tonkatsu broth that barely has any sort of substance to it. For $16 when I could go to that same bowl in Japan for like 700 yen. Oh man. I think I might wake up to a snowy morning tomorrow, it seems, because it is raining harder, and it's also, what's the rain snow called again? Sleet? It is sleeting quite hard right now. Sleeting actually sounds kind of funny if I say it like that. I am a little bit wet. I'm a little bit drenched. I'm a little bit miserable. Not a lot. I'm just miserable because I'm kind of like chilly right now. My hands are cold. I just scarfed down a chicken bake in like 3 minutes. And I also have to bring the groceries back in. But I do have a little carton now. As I said earlier, I bought a little Instacart that like collapses flat and then expands back up. And that's going to make the grocery trip at least 2 to 3 trips less of going back and forth. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'll definitely keep that in my car, and I think I'll enjoy using that. Especially for transporting eggs. I hate transporting eggs. I really hope I didn't break any eggs. Like, one of those sounds I heard earlier definitely sounded like one of those plastic containers crinkling for the eggs right now. And I think we might have lost some egg brothers in the back, but if they're broken, I'll just eat them later for dinner tonight. But that's another thing too. Like, I'm thinking about what I want for dinner right now. And since it's so cold and chilly and rainy and almost snowing, basically in a way snowing now, I think I want something warm, rich, probably not luxurious. I don't think I have the ingredients for anything luxurious at home. So that's probably gonna be I just had this dastardly idea. What if I make soup and I put dino chicken nuggets into it? I guess I don't have to put the dino chicken nuggets into it, but just the visual of that just sounded extremely funny. Like making a from scratch homemade soup that tastes delicious, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, what's the protein that you put in here? And then you just see like the dinosaur chicken nuggets just bobbing up and down inside of it, and you're like, I brought out the finest tonight. We'll be like a really funny like Michelin star chef way to say dino chicken nuggets. Like artisanal, free range, poultry, hand-shaped into cerebral and prehistoric forms. Yeah, like the, oh, what was that? What the heck was that? Well, the mystery continues. I got a mysterious noise and I don't know what it is, but I'll figure it out later. Also, I'm kind of glad that it's kind of dark right now, so you can't really tell, but I am disgusting right now. You guys are seeing a raw form of me. My nose is running, but at the same time, I can't really wipe it because I'm driving, because like, I don't know where I have like tissues in this car right now. They're somewhere, and I can't really start digging around in my glove box either, because I think I see them over there actually. So again, I'm just in a very disgusting form right now with my nose running, hair wet from the rain that I just went through, also sweaty because I got done working out. I am not the most sanitary person right now, but again, could I edit it so I seem a lot cooler, a lot prim and proper, like I got all my shit together? Yeah, I could do that, but I feel like, again, if this is my daily journey, my daily journal. Oh my god, I just had a random panic attack thinking, did I close my trunk door? And the thing is, it should be closed, because if it was open, my car would be beeping hella at me. And I would have lost a couple things in the back. It's weird how the brain works, that like, you did it, but like, just because you didn't double check, all of a sudden you're like, everything's going wrong. My car is going to blow up. I'm going to blow up. But yeah, runny nose and the red light. Arms have been hit. Not the best workout I've ever had, but not the worst either. It's a nice little easing back into everything. But I remember I was talking about earlier in the going to the gym car talk, where I was talking about, I usually think about doing 2 to 6 sets per body part, but then I forgot that I actually do 8 sets on quads and 8 sets on, whatchamacallit, on triceps. But I'm starting to think today I could maybe lower, I don't know, I've done 8 sets of triceps for so long that I'm just so used to it. So there's also a part of me where I'm like, should I even bother changing it if that's what I'm used to? Like, maybe later on I can, maybe if I start feeling too much fatigue, and that's maybe when the weights go up. But for my current state at the moment, 8 sets of triceps seems doable and feels good. Oh, I just hiccuped. Excuse me once again. And I remember for quads too, I do 8 sets because it's usually, what I did for the past couple leg days I had was 2 sets of leg extensions, 2 sets of squats, 2 sets of sissy, narrow-ish hack squat variation, whatever I could find. And then I ended the day with 2 more sets of 1 leg at a time leg extensions. And those always seem doable also, so maybe I'll just keep doing those as well. But it just seems like I'm doing a lot of sets, so do I need to up the intensity? Do I need to up the weights? I don't know. That's still an experimental progress that I'm tinkering with at the moment. But I've already like to think that it does help to be a little bit experimental and also kind of stick with something for a little bit, because who knows, maybe it works out for you, because I've been working out for just over a year now, and my exercise plan has been vastly different from what it was last January. Last January, I did not work out the same way that I was working out currently right now. So I could think of that as growth. I could also think of that as, a unique experience where I look back and I go, oh, I did change a lot. And I can always remember that too. Like, the more I learn and the more I get used to my own body and learning about it too, like, I could be having a completely different workout next year as well. And that's kind of exciting to think about. That's actually really exciting to think about. Ooh, it's my turn to go. Whee! One thing I'm a little bit bitter about is I made some Korean stew yesterday called doenjangjjigae, and I made it really, really nicely too. I had some mushrooms in there, some squash, some onion, some green onion, a lot of tofu, a lot of beef. What else did I have in there? Oh, and a lot of soybean sprouts. But one downside to living with, your family or with other people in general, and especially if the food you make the other people do seem to like as well, is that sometimes you don't really get to eat your own cooking that much unless you quite literally only make a single portion for yourself. And that being said, it's not like I'm actually salty about it. Like, I really do enjoy it that whenever I make food and people eat it, like, that's honestly like one of the greatest things, one of the greatest feelings in my opinion. You make food, especially with the idea for others to enjoy, and they clean it up. Like, there's none left, and I'm like, damn, that feels good. But I also didn't get to eat it yesterday because I went out to dinner with a couple of friends, and I don't think there's any left of it right now. So, or maybe there is, who knows? We don't know. Is this my trash can? No. Okay. But on that note, Arms, Costco, Chicken Bake consumed, Instacrate also bought. I think today's ending up being a decent day. Looks like we got snow on the forecast as well. So on that note, I bid thee farewell.